All right, we are up with Spider-Man, friend or foe. Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Yes, and we're playing this because recently the new Spider-Man movie came out. We both saw it. Mm-hmm. And then Mike has finally watched the animated movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So this is going to be like kind of our review of those movies while we play this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, double as a review while we play the game.
Okay, so spoiler alert.
Yes.
We might lose a lot of people right now.
Well, we'll start with Spider-Verse. That's been out for a while longer. What did you think of Spider-Verse? Because I thought it was something that you would really, really like.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought the animation was awesome.
Yeah.
I liked the combination of all the different Spider-Men coming together.
Yeah.
Before I saw it, my concern with it was I didn't know that Peter Parker was a totally different person.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that it's the way they did it. Like they had the Spider-Girl. I don't know that all their names
Okay,
were.
so
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy
was
from
Spider-Girl? Spider-Woman?
She's called Spider-Gwen, but in her universe calls her Spider-Woman. Mm-hmm. But the comics is called Spider-Gwen. So basically, like, there's Chris Pine is the first Spider-Man, the blonde one.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, I forget his name, he's the Peter Parker from the universe where Spider-Man's a little older and he's going through a divorce. That was my favorite Spider-Man, by the way.
It was like a really cool mesh of animation styles.
Yeah.
Like, like, sort of like 3D, 2D, I don't even know, like this awesome mesh of animation.
It's technically 3D, but yeah, it does look like it's 2D. They even, like, do some stuff that comic books do.
Yeah, a lot of that's what I mean, like...
Yeah, it was insane. Like, I didn't know what to expect, because...
And then it's almost cartoony with the Spider-Pig.
Yeah, Spider-Ham was John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Fucking Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I thought it was
Spider-Man
really good.
Noir.
It's definitely worth seeing. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that movie.
Because, like, let's take, like, basically everything's different in each of the Spider universes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'm like, I hate when they, change it up. Yeah. But because it's, like, in another universe, I was like, oh, that's the way to do it. I thought it was brilliant the way they did it.
I loved the Dr. Octopus reveal because I didn't see it coming. Mm-hmm. Where it's, like, the lady and she's, like, talking, and then finally, like, the older Spider-Man's like, do they call you Ock by any chance? And it's like, that's great.
Yeah. No, the way they did it was awesome.
Yeah. When they introduced the Spider-Man, I think they show like the cover of their comic or whatnot.
Yeah.
They apparently got the artist who created each character to come back and draw that, I think.
Okay.
So they worked with like artists and stuff, and it's the two guys who did like the Lego movie, 21 Jump Street. They would have done Solo if they didn't get fired, so...
Right.
That was like the good revenge. They got fired from Solo halfway through. And then they did Spider-Verse, which I think won an Oscar. So it was like, hey, fuck you. You let us go, and we're doing really great now.
See, I had this is cool. This looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they used the movie. This is like came out a year after Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Oh, we can unlock Venom, by the way. It comes with an unlock code for Venom.
There's so much Spider-Man stuff to sort of go through. Like, I'm still trying to like read the old comics because there's so many. No, you don't even understand. I have. Yeah. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to go grab them. Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay. One disappointment I did have was Kingpin looked weird. Well, I guess Miles Morales is from the Ultimate Universe, so they did the giant goblin monster Green Goblin, and I prefer just guy in a green suit Green Goblin. So,
this is why I haven't gotten to a lot of this stuff. I like to do things in order, so really quickly. So, I started reading this, okay? Yeah. Or I read most of this one.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with this one. So this is Spider-Man. This is the first omnibus.
Here, can I see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually have a lot of these. When Spider-Man 3 came out, the local paper were reprinting old issues of Spider-Man, and it would come with the newspaper.
Yeah.
And I just collected this, so I've actually read a lot of these original run from like the first few.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're fun. They still hold up.
I like them.
Good.
They're really good.
They're good. Okay.
So that's that one. So then I haven't even made it to this one yet. The other thing is, with this, I jumped to reading some of the later ones.
Yeah.
Because I bought other ones. I was at like Barnes and Nobles and stuff. And I've been reading some of the more recent stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm almost through that, and then this is the next one that I'm almost up to. So I got to go through this whole book, and these are big books, you know.
Okay.
Looks like it.
Kraven is my favorite Spider-Man villain. I love Kraven, and he'll probably never be in a goddamn movie, and it makes me sad.
Here he is right here. I actually have, there's a Spider-Man game. This is Friend or Foe, but there's some ones that are on like Xbox 360 and whatever.
Yeah, like Web of Shadows.
Yeah, like all that. There's one that has a lot of Kraven in it. But anyway, this here.
Yeah. So cool. It's so cool.
All right, so then we got the third one, which one day I'll make it to. Mm-hmm. We got that one. So you know any of these?
Real quick, love. Turn around.
Yeah.
Morbius, the living vampire. They're making a movie about him right now. And you know who they got to play Morbius? All right, Joker fan. They got Jared Leto to play him, and Jared Leto sucks. They hate him. Yeah, Jared Leto's playing Morbius. It's gonna be like the Venom movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I didn't mind the Venom movie, but it's like, why would you put this in your own universe and not tie it to the Spider-Man movie?
So that's up to Morbius, and then this is the one. I think this one just came out. So this is. So I basically have a lot of Spider-Man to read.
Yeah. Oh, that's when Gwen Stacy died?
Yeah. So it's up to that era. Yeah. And that's how far they are with those.
You can either be Silver Sable or the Prowler, who was in Spider-Verse. He was Miles Morales' uncle, who was the bad guy.
Yes.
Who's also in Spider-Man Homecoming. The guy who played Lando in Star Wars. Remember, he was like kind of like a bum. He was like kind of like a burglar. Spider-Man like interrogates him at one point. But he says in that movie, he's like, look, I got a nephew here, so I can't have these weapons. I'm like, he's supposed to be the Prowler eventually. Okay. But yeah, that's one of the people, if you hit A, you can join.
Oh, which they didn't do it like in a future movie, you mean?
Yeah, so if they
get that far.
If the MCU gets to Miles at some point, he'll probably come back as the Prowler.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go to Tokyo.
I have a very bad feeling.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I loved fucking Spider-Ham.
Everything in that was great.
I love when he's like, do pigs not talk on your planet? I don't want to freak this guy out.
Then there was like the anime Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, like the girl Penny Parker.
Something.
And it's like she had a pet spider who lived in her robot.
It was weird, but I liked it. It was funny.
You're going the wrong way.
Oh fuck, I was looking at you. Shit.
Did you watch the end credits by any chance?
Of
Spider-Verse?
What happened in that? I watched the end credits of the movie.
Oh no, it's at the end of Spider-Verse, it's Spider-Man 2099, the future one.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh my god, so he's like, alright, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. So if you hit the direction, you have these power-ups.
Okay.
He's like, I'm gonna go back to the beginning, and then he flashes back to the 60s TV show Spider-Man. And have you seen that meme where it's the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other?
No.
Okay, so it's from that old TV show. Yeah. So he flashes into that, and he's like arguing with the 60s Spider-Man. They just keep pointing at each other. So that was pretty funny. But
I missed that.
After that, Spider-Man Far From Home. Which I was kind of like, I was going to see it, but I wasn't going to rush out to see it. Just because after like Captain Marvel, Endgame, Dark Phoenix,
I was worried that it was going to be bad.
Yeah,
because usually it's like, Spider-Man goes to Europe or whatever. It sounds corny, but
but not even bad. I'm just kind of, and I love superhero stuff, but even I'm just like, all right, can we space these out?
I'm really burned out on it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great.
Oh my god, I loved it. And I knew I was going to like it, but I didn't think I was going to enjoy it that much. But no, I had a great time with it.
I think Tom Holland's awesome as Spider-Man.
He's phenomenal.
I think he's perfect for it.
I love that Jake Gyllenhaal finally made it into a Spider-Man movie. Because there were rumors he was going to replace Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
There was like this whole negotiating thing where like Tobey Maguire wanted like more money. And then they were like, all right, we'll just get Jake Gyllenhaal. And then suddenly he's like, no, I'm fine. I'll be Spider-Man.
I like the Homecoming as well. By the way. I thought that movie was great. Yeah. I liked Michael Keaton a lot as the villain, as Vulture.
Know what? I'm kind of glad this movie was kind of its own story because I thought they were going to build up on the Sinister Six shit, which I'm fine with. But no, this movie was like, it was mostly focused on Mysterio. There were no other like major villains, I think, in it.
I don't think that
the Elementals kind of resemble other Spider-Man.
But those
villains.
were things that he was doing.
Yeah.
So it was like all Mysterio.
Like the water one kind of resembles Hydro, who they reference. The sand one kind of resembles Sandman.
Yeah.
But they're not really those characters, so you can still do them at some point.
Right.
I really like Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. Like, I knew he was going to be a bad guy, because that's the typical Mysterio story.
Yeah.
He pretends to be a hero.
Oh, I knew that too.
Yeah, but for a minute, like, the chemistry was so good with them, like, I kind of didn't want him to be a bad guy.
Well, he had to be though.
Yeah, no, he had to be.
Yeah.
And I love how they did it, how connected to the other Iron Man movies. Like, even like it went back to like the first movie with that one guy. And they had a whole justification for it because, you know, it's been 5 years, half the world was wiped out, so a lot of information got moved around. Oh, did you like the beginning where it explains like how everyone came back after the snap?
Oh my god, I thought it was really funny.
Yeah,
like the teens on
the marching band disappears and they come back during the middle of it. I love when Flash Thompson's trying to drink alcohol on the plane, and MJ is just like, "Hey man, he blipped, so he's technically 16, not 21." Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really.
I didn't know that was gonna happen. Like the mess ups of the blip. Like I thought when I watched Endgame that everything was like fine. I didn't realize that. Did they establish that in Endgame, or was it just in this movie that they're like, oh, there was problems with it?
I think it's in this movie.
Okay.
Because Hulk just said, "Bring everyone home." He didn't say put them in a safe place. Because like, imagine if like you're working on a submarine and suddenly you blip back. Like you're fucked.
That's true. They could put you anywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
So hit
Guess
that.
we have to step on this. Now it's like a Lego fucking game.
And I think we were talking before the stream that the new movies are kind of like the Iron Man movies in a way where like you like the character so much you don't care that he's not in his suit that much. Like Spider-Man, he starts off in the Iron Spider suit, and then the stealth suit, which also looks like the Noir suit. He only wears his blue suit in the hallucination. And then the proper suit isn't until the very end. But, like, it was fine. Like, I was okay with it.
You know, it was, by the way, it was also very classic Spider-Man. It's like, you know, I'm showing you all these, like, old Spider-Mans I'm reading. The classic thing about Spider-Man is, you know, maybe he'll like kick some ass or like fight some villain in the beginning, whatever. But then something happens to him. There's always something bad that happens. Like he'll somehow lose his abilities, or he'll lose part of his abilities. And this was the classic thing of like, you know, he gets his ass kicked. He loses his abilities. He loses his suit and all that.
I love when they're in Venice. He doesn't have his suit, so he's wearing like the Venetian mask.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I can help.
But it was just so, like, they got it so right.
Yeah.
Like, I thought. And then, like, the shit with, the scene in the middle of the movie with Mysterio was like, at that point, you don't even know, like, how could Spider-Man ever fucking defeat Mysterio? At that point, I was like, there's no way he could win. Yeah. But then by the end, you know. But it's, I don't know. I really thought it was really good.
Yeah. I liked Nick Fury in it, even though, but we said spoilers in the beginning of this, right?
Yeah, I said spoilers.
Yeah, even though you find out it's not really Nick Fury, it's the Skrulls from the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Because in that movie, the Skrulls are usually bad guys, but in that movie they show them as, like, they're kind of good guys. I don't think you saw the solo Captain Marvel movie, right?
No, I didn't.
It's fine. It's not that good.
Yeah.
But the Skrulls were the best part of it, so I'm glad they brought that guy back to be, like, the replacement for Nick Fury. I like when he calls Nick at the end, like, saying, like, hey, I kind of fucked up. It takes some classic Spider-Man tropes and, like, twists them.
Yeah.
Like, the very ending with him it's not Mary Jane, her name's Michelle, but basically MJ.
Yeah.
When she goes swinging with him. In, like, all the other movies, it's always, like, a romantic thing.
Oh, I love how she was, like, screaming. Yeah. It's like, that would be the real reaction.
She's, like, screaming when she's done, her hair's messed up. I'm like, that's fucking great. Because I remember when they did the Andrew Garfield movie and he's swinging with Gwen Stacy, I'm like, this is just like the other fucking movies.
Yeah.
Like, but I love how she hates it.
Now, the Andrew Garfield movies, they fucking sucked, and I feel I was thinking about that. I feel bad. Like what is his life like now? You know, imagine he goes into like a restaurant. And they're like, oh, weren't you Spider-Man?
I think he's fine. He was in a movie. I think he got nominated for like Best Actor recently. So
okay,
he's fine.
I like to think of it as like he's walking him into McDonald's and like they're like, weren't you Spider-Man?
Hold on. He actually played around with it. What was it? One of the late night talk shows.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Before they go to commercial, sometimes they'll just show things outside.
Yeah.
And it showed like him in a shitty Spider-Man suit, like on the street of New York, basically like like what are they panhandling or busking for like money? So like someone hands him a 20, he takes his mask off, he's like yes. So he's like fine with it. He didn't enjoy. It's kind of sad because as bad as the first one is.
Yeah.
He seemed like really into it,
right?
Like in interviews and stuff, and I like him, and I'm like, he's a good choice for it.
Sure.
But then I saw like interviews with him with the second one. He just seemed miserable.
Yeah.
Because like that's when they wanted to compete with Marvel. They wanted to like build all this expanded
He probably just
universe.
knew what was happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Everyone seemed pretty miserable. Even the director was like, "Yeah, part of me's kind of glad I don't have to deal with this anymore."
So I haven't been like using like I don't think I'm playing this right. Like I'm just like looking at you, how you're Spider-Man, and I'm not Spider-Man. I'm like, God damn it.
Actually, I didn't mind the whole field trip globetrotting thing. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, the whole thing I liked. I don't have any complaints.
I love the new teacher, JB Smooth. He plays Leon in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh great. You know what's funny? As I was watching him, because he has that mustache, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind him being J. Jonah Jameson. And then the ending of the movie happened.
Yeah.
And for years, people have been saying, who can replace J. Jonah Jameson? And the answer is fucking no one. So just get that guy again.
I thought it was hilarious when he was like in the bathroom and like with the woman, and then he comes in, he's like taking the pictures of him.
Oh yeah.
And shit. And then later on, he got in trouble for that because
like, who are you taking pictures of people in the bathroom?
Yeah.
But they brought J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah Jameson. But I'm glad they like modernized it, so it's not a newspaper anymore. The Daily Bugle is an online like alternative news.
Yeah.
So he's basically Alex Jones, and it's Infowars, and he's bald now. I thought that's like because that's what they did in the Spider-Man game, like his podcast and shit. I thought that was hilarious.
I didn't expect to see that, and I was like, oh, that's a cool. Yeah.
Someone told me about it, and I thought it was too good to be true. I'm like, that's too awesome. There's no way it's happening. And I like that he's bald this time because he wore a wig in Justice League and it looked terrible. So I'm glad they just let him be bald.
There we go. Oh, alley-oop. Here, can I get that?
Yeah, one of us needs to get that.
God damn it. Well, maybe Spider-Man can get it.
Got it.
Apparently, I'm just worthless over here.
How would you feel if they did like a live-action Spider-Verse? If it was Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and then they threw a couple other ones in there?
I mean, I'm down for anything Spider-Man as long as it's made well. Really, you know?
The thing is, like, it'd be fun to have Andrew Garfield in there because it's another Spider-Man, but at the same time, like, no one really gives a shit about that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It would be more fun to see Tom Holland with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And they could do a whole thing. It's like, oh yeah, my webs come out of my wrist, and they're like, oh, that's weird. Like, we all have like machines. Here's the question I have, Mike.
Shit, yeah.
How much money do you think Robert Downey Jr. made for just having his image plastered all over the movie without actually appearing? He's like in almost every single.
He's got a good deal, yeah.
I'm like, they use some archive footage, and there's pictures of him everywhere. I'm like, he has to be making money from this.
Probably more money than we'll ever make in our lives for not being in a movie. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Hey, that happens.
Here's the real question: who has more money, Robert Downey Jr. or Tony Stark? You know.
I'm guessing that universe Tony Stark has.
Oh, okay.
Also, the one common complaint with Iron Man is he tends to create his own villains. Like, he inadvertently like leads to the creation of his bad guys. And people pointed out, like, even in death, he's still creating bad guys. Because Mysterio actually works.
It's hard to go from a game to like a game like this from the Spider-Man on PS4 that we've been playing. It's like this is so.
I mean, it's not bad though. It's a fun
bad.
co-op.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more for kids.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a kid, I fucking love this. But
if I was a kid, I'd probably want to play the PS4 game though.
Yeah. So I'm not sure at the end.
This isn't bad though.
I'm not sure if Mysterio actually died, or if his friend who was still alive manipulated the footage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because spoiler at the end, like everyone's fine, and then J. Jonah Jameson reveals that he got footage of Mysterio basically being like, Spider-Man's gonna kill me, and at the end he goes, also his real name's Peter Parker.
Yeah, I know. His eyes get all like wide.
Which I'm glad they're gonna. So they did that, the Civil War comic. I'm gonna try and get this thing. Oh, fuck.
Come on, Spider-Man.
God damn it. I don't know if I'm getting this thing.
Tony's showing off his spider skills here. Let's see it. Come on. I got it.
Oh, you got it. All right.
I'm not even Spider-Man and I got it.
Okay, so the Civil War comic is when Spider-Man revealed who he was to the world.
Yeah.
And I never got a chance to read it. I was gonna like wait, but they did this line of comics afterwards. He switches back to the black suit, but it's like all his villains now know who he is. So,
I've read that, by the way.
yeah, it seemed real interesting. And then the head of fucking Marvel at the time, I forget who it was, John Romita or Joe Quesada, one of them decided he didn't like that. And also he didn't like that Spider-Man was married. So then they did that awful One More Day story where Spider-Man makes a deal with the devil to save Aunt May, and also to erase everyone's memory that he's Spider-Man, and also to erase the memory of his marriage. All because the head of Marvel just wanted to go back to basics. And it's like, no, but this is like interesting. Like his villains are after him, and
They don't want interesting things.
yeah. So like the ending of, I mean, the next movie they'll probably figure out a way to like.
I mean, listen, Spider-Man's been around since the 60s. After this much time, you gotta start changing it up.
But I could see them like in the next one being like, oh, they fix it somehow.
Yeah.
But still, if bad guys are going after Peter Parker, that'd be interesting to see for a movie. I hope they don't like. I hope he just doesn't make a deal with the devil. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I don't want him to make a deal with the devil.
So you think that that's what they're gonna do for the next one, where all the bad guys are coming after him?
That would be cool.
That's
like,
kind of cool.
Because remember, Homecoming set up like a bunch of it. Set up Scorpion. Well, he didn't have the suit yet. Vulture, who like Vulture might actually try to protect him out of respect, but who knows? If we're bringing back actors from previous Spider-Man movies, I love the idea of Paul Giamatti as Rhino, and they fucked it up in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I just want them to bring him back and be Rhino. Not look like a goddamn Transformer. I don't mind like a robotic suit, but Amazing Spider-Man 2, it looked like a Transformer, like movie Transformer.
Yeah.
But
That's only at the very end of it, right?
Yeah. He's in the beginning before the suit, but he's like all Russian and stuff. I want him to just play the role like he did the bad guy in Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie.
You goddamn motherfuckers. You fucking waltz in here and you think you know everything, don't you?
You know, the Netflix special, and first of all, if you haven't,
it's on Netflix, but it was in theaters.
Yeah,
the animated movie.
If you haven't, well, it's on. That's what I mean. You can watch it now on Netflix, and first of all, if you haven't seen Homecoming, watch that first.
Yeah. Watch Venom. It's really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Venom. It's a mess, but I enjoyed it.
But Spider-Man's European Vacation. Check that out. No, I really did like it though. They're all really good.
What do you think the next title will be? Because it's Spider-Man Homecoming. This one's Spider-Man Far From Home. I guess home has got to be in the title.
Spider-Man versus Mummy Cop. I guess. Mummy Cop's home invasion. Mummy Cop's home invasion.
Spider-Man Home Alone. I like that. I like Spider-Man Home
Why
Alone.
not? Let's get Macaulay in there.